really more concerned about tornadoes as well.
Exactly, doing some damage. He mentioned a lot of trees are down, and we saw that a couple of weeks ago, and I think our viewers were under the misconception as we take a look at some live pictures here that, you know, we talk about those tornadoes that happened earlier this year in Missouri and in Alabama, and they were EF5s, but, you know, we had an EF0 touchdown in Fort Bend County. It did a lot of damage to those homes there. So we're taking a live look here in Katy, and this is where the storm is about to roll in now. Anthony was just showing you on the radar. As you take a live look here, this storm is kind of moving in from the west, and as Lauren said, got very high winds, and we're going to get a lot of rain. We're worried about some damaging winds, a lot of lightning, and maybe some straight line winds. So that's what it looks like in Katy right now. And again, it's moving in from the west, and this caused a lot of power outages along the 59 corridor, as Anthony mentioned. So right now the concern is not so much flooding, as we've been talking about, but it is those damaging winds that we're getting.
Yes, a strong storm, that's for sure. Katy, Jersey Village, that area, Anthony saying they were going to start seeing the more severe weather around 9:30 this morning. Just in a couple of minutes, it's 9:21 right now. Courtney Gilmore is out live for us now from Tomball to kind of tell us and show us what she's seeing from there. Courtney?
Oh, well, Lauren and Ian, the temperatures just took a dip out here. We started to see some sprinkles, but still some wind, extremely windy. Now, just to give you a perspective of where we are, we're in between Cypress and Tomball, Texas. Across the street is the Canyon Gate at North Point subdivision there, but take a look at that sky, really discolored. Now, on our way up here on 249, we saw several alerts to drivers saying tornado warnings. Now, this parking lot has several businesses in it, and I've been talking to business owners, and they said that they are prepared for the storm. Some of them say they might even wait it out. Others say they'll probably leave a little bit early. But right now, this is what we're dealing with. Lots of wind, few sprinkles, but the temperature has definitely dropped. Of course, we'll be out here giving you the latest developments as time progresses. For now, that is the very latest. Tomball, Texas. Courtney Gilmore reporting, KPRC Local 2.
All right, Courtney, thank you. We're just looking at some pictures online here of some of the damage that it did in central Texas. It moved through the Austin area, and certainly some devastating pictures out of there. So we know this is a serious storm system that is moving west, making its way towards our area. We're taking a look at the zoo now. You know, Anthony was talking about kind of in preparing for this severe weather. We know yesterday we saw this coming for the last couple of days, and a lot of times you can kind of tell by the way the animals are acting and reacting that something's about to happen weather-wise. Not much going on out there now as we look at the Houston Zoo. Again, yesterday when we looked at those animals, they weren't doing much either. So,
exactly, but they were kind of huddled under there. I think they
resting in anticipation of rough weather. Yeah.
I understand that we have somebody from Transtar on the phone and to talk about what's going on out there. And
Dinah Massey, are you there? Nope. Okay. Well, we're hoping to get as much information about travel as we can at this point, because that's really a big issue right now. Jennifer was just showing us those traffic cameras, those Transtar cameras all over the area, and there are wet roads. There are, you know, tough situations all over the place out there. So
exactly. Well, I think we do have Diana Massey now from Transtar on the phone. Diana, can you hear us? I guess maybe we still don't have it. We'll try to get it.
We're going to keep trying.
It's all right. We're going to keep you posted on, again, the traffic conditions. And, again, as this storm is moving in from the west, and we just heard from Courtney Gilmore in the Tomball area. But for the latest now, let's get you over to Anthony Yanez. Anthony?
And basically, I just kind of want to walk through all the different cities and what we're seeing, what we have seen, and what we're expecting. So, again, this is the wide shot. You got the radar that's sweeping across southeast Texas, the storms here. You've got the warnings that extend all the way out into East Texas. All of the tornado warnings have now just expired. The last one, they went all the way to 9:15. We're done with those. So what we have left are severe thunderstorm warnings. Whenever you have a severe thunderstorm warning, and you can see from Crockett that extends all the way into Spring, in the northernmost part of Harris County, basically what this means is you have winds that can exceed 60 miles per hour, those straight line winds. You can have hail that's a pretty good size. On top of that, you can get tornadoes also. And so if they start to get some indication on the radar of a tornado forming, or if someone spots a tornado, they will switch an area of this into the National Weather Service into a tornado warning. But for right now, the big concern with this is the straight line damaging winds. As far as Houston goes, besides a little passing shower or two, we really haven't seen the heart of this system. But now it has moved into Katy. So Katy's going to see the strong gusty winds, to see an immediate drop in temperatures, and of course some immediate heavy rain with a lot of lightning. And this extends all the way from Eagle Lake, Sealy, Belleville, all the way into Waller. It's getting closer, as you can see, to Jersey Village, the Woodlands, and Conroe about to get hit pretty good. So zooming in just a little bit, here's Jersey Village. As we move towards Cypress, we have the storms now moving into the Cypress area, now moving into Tomball. So we waited all morning long for this system, and here we are a little past 9:15, and we have the storms that have now moved in. Magnolia really getting in some heavy rain and also quite a bit of lightning. Now pushing off to the south of Katy, here's Richmond, Sugar Land, Missouri City. Things are quiet for right now. And again, a lot of the energy with this, at least so far this morning, has been north of I-10. So it does not, at least right now, look like a repeat of what we saw 2 weeks ago in places like Moss Hill and Sugar Land. However, you are going to see some heavy rain. Also a mention about this, and Lauren was talking about this, these are moving at a pretty good clip. They're moving at about 35, 40 miles per hour off and on, quiet in Houston, as you can see. Notice if we go back to the morning time, you see this line push on through. So it's going to be brief, heavy rain, but at least right now, it doesn't look like it's sticking around long enough to produce any flooding. However, that will change, and an example of this would be Willis. Here's the storm. It's pushing off to the east, but do you see how these storms lag behind into Magnolia and then even farther off to the east? So what's going to happen is as the storm pushes away, you still have more rain moving in, so you get what's called training. If we get this training here in the Houston area and you get more than 2 inches of rain an hour, we flood. We haven't seen that just yet, but that's a possibility, and so that's what I'll be watching for you all morning long. But otherwise, they're moving pretty quick, and so that's a good thing. New Waverly into Willis and Conroe, you have some strong thunderstorms. And then up to the north, you have these storms in Huntsville, moving toward Onalaska, Point Blank. Things have been very quiet in Livingston. This is a good drought-busting forecast, but you take the good with the bad. You get the good, heavy rain that makes a pretty good dent in our drought, but also what you have is the severe weather where we definitely have to be careful. So from Wharton into El Campo, LaWard, Palacios, Edna, notice this doesn't have near the intensity off to the southwest. Okay, let's go ahead and track these now and show you what you can expect where you live. They're moving, as I was mentioning, off to the east, a little bit of a northeasterly push at about 35 miles per hour. So it'll be in Cold Spring at 9:56. At Point Blank at 10:02. If we can get rid of the storm weather alert bug, this is where we put our track. And so the problem is, if we don't get rid of that, I can't show all the cities where this is headed. So let me see if you guys can do that. Oh, there it goes. Onalaska showing that 10:16. Livingston at 10:21. So in about an hour, these storms are going to be in Lake Livingston. Seven Oaks coming in at 10:38. Okay, let's take another look at the tracks along Jersey Village. Here we are with the storms in Harris County. Again, there's this northeasterly, easterly movement here. It'll be in Jersey Village at 9:41 as far as where the heart of the system is. The Woodlands at 10:08, Spring at 10:09, Humble 10:15, Woodlock at 10:18 as the heart of this storm progresses off to the east and the northeast. And the last part of the storm that we'll track right now is off here to the southwest, right around El Campo and Wharton. This again is moving off at about that one a little faster, as you saw. That went all the way to 48 miles per hour. So El Campo at 9:31, Wharton 9:52. It looks like Kendleton at 10:10, and then Needville coming in at 10:19. Back to you at the desk.
Keep us up to date on that.
All right, and we do have Dinah Wheeler now on the phone from Transtar. Dinah, thanks for joining us. Can you tell us what you're seeing out there and what you expect for the next couple of hours?
Well, the roads are relatively clear, Beltway and the surrounding areas. We just have one incident, and that's at the usual place, 59 and 610. Of course, once rain starts hitting our area, we will see flooding at the usual places, which is the Beltway, West Park Toll Road, and 59 and 610.
All right, we're kind of taking a look right now across the areas. It looks like we are seeing some heavy rain right now moving into the area. In the outlying areas, you guys don't have any problems as far as the areas that have already gotten hit by this storm?
Well, I see that our sensors are showing some slowdowns in traffic, but we don't keep incident information on the far regions. We only have the 6-county region in our area.
All right, are you guys bringing in extra staff or anything today? I know we knew this storm was coming.
We knew the storm was coming. The Harris County Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, which is housed at Transtar, is watching this storm closely, and they are gearing up for it. TxDOT, which monitors the roadways, has its usual complement of people on the floor 24/7.
And Dinah, I guess one good thing is that rush hour right now is pretty much over, and we had this thing a couple of weeks ago. It sort of lasted almost into the evening rush hour, so I guess the timing of this storming, if anything, could be better than a couple of weeks ago.
That's true. I think it could be. Just people need to be aware not to drive in water when they can't see the pavement.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask you have any advice for people who feel like they do have to head out in this bad storm now?
Well, you know, the key thing is always the common sense thing. And if it's a heavy rain load dumping, water can fill up on a road, and a person can be simply stopped in traffic, and the water can rise around them. So they have to be really aware of where they are and what's going on.
All right, Dinah, sounds good. We appreciate your time, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. We're trying to get as much information as we can right now, not only on the weather side of things, but also on the traveling side of things, because that's a big issue. We were just looking at the TransStar cameras there, and so many parts of the area getting hammered by rain right now. I know Katy, Jersey Village really under the gun right now, really seeing the worst of that. Darian Ward with the Houston Airport System, I understand, is on the phone with us now. I want to get some more information on how flight travel could be affected by this. Darian, can you hear us?
Sure can. Good morning.
All right, so do you guys have any delays or cancellation? What's happening at the airports?
Well, I can say so far it's been smooth sailing at the Houston Airport System. Maybe later today we could be expecting more delays and some cancellations, but so far we've only had maybe about 2 arrival delays and 3 departure delays at Hobby, and over at Bush, nothing. So we're looking pretty good.
Sounds good so far, Darian. And when you talk about later, when will you know perhaps if you have some delays for later, and what should travelers do? Call the airport before they get their flight?
Certainly. The best advice is to check with your airline first for the status of your flight. You can also go onto our website at fly2houston.com. And also, if there's going to be anything big, anything major with delays and cancellations, on our homepage you will see important notices. It'll be in red. You can click on that and find out exact information. Also, you may want to follow us on Twitter at IAH or at Hobby Airport.
Let me ask you, because I know 2 weeks ago we saw this similarly in that we had all this rain, started flooding, what have you. I know a lot of people were having trouble getting to the big airport because there was water over the roadways there. How long did it take, a day or hours, to kind of get all those travelers back into position and moving appropriately?
Yes, a couple of weeks ago was very interesting because of all that flooded rain, the flooded areas right around Hobby, really. But actually it took about a day, maybe half a day, in order to get everything back on track. And that's why we are always telling people to call their airlines first to check on the flight status.
What goes into the decisions that you guys make right now as far as ground stoppage, things like that? We know that's not in effect. We don't want to scare anyone. But
right.
What goes into that decision-making process?
Actually, that's from the Federal Aviation Administration. They're the ones, the air traffic controllers, who decide what's going on. That's really based on the weather. Then they also have to see what's going on in other parts of the country to determine if it's going to be affecting Houston airports.
And it looks like this storm probably has affected, you know, travelers and what have you in other areas as well. We know that it's moving west, so it's already been through Austin and other areas like that. Darian Wood with the Houston Airport System, thank you so much. We'll let you get back to work on this busy day.